Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started with our Bhakti Vaibhava study of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. Let us begin with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Let us read our verses for the second module. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Uddama Bhava Pishunama Laval Guhasa Vrida Valoka Nihato Madano Piyasam Sammuya Chapama Jahat Pramadottamasta Yasyendriyam Vimathitum Kuhakairna Shekuhu Bhavadvidha Bhagavata Stirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabrita Tulayamalave napi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutashisha tiraskata vipralabdha kshapta kshipta hata api nasya tat pratikurvanti tadabhaktaha prabhavopihi punascha bhuyad bhagavatanante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu Mahatsuyam yamupayami shrishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I pray that all of you are doing well in your bhajan. We are continuing our study of Granthra Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home. And we are going to read from text number 38 onwards. We are seeing the description of how Vidurji came to Hastinapur after the Kurukshetra war, when Yudhishthir Maharaj had been enthroned as the king. Vidurji comes, he's a pure devotee. He comes and he sees his elder brother, Dhritarashtra, just languishing in the palace of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Death was approaching, and Dhritarashtra Maharaj was just wasting his time, attached to his body, attached to his family, relatives, comforts, luxuries. Mahatma Vidurji comes and enlightens Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, convinces them about the need for spiritual emancipation, and encourages them to quit Maharaj Yudhishthir's palace and facilities. He takes them, both of them, to the forest, and Maharaj Yudhishthir is not able to find Dhritarashtra and Gandhari the next day. So Maharaj Yudhishthir starts doubting himself that maybe I committed some offense, and that's why my superior Dhritarashtra Maharaj and his wife, mother Gandhari, they have gone away. He goes to the personal secretary of Maharaj Dhritarashtra, Sanjay, and inquires from Sanjay, where did Dhritarashtra Maharaj go? Sanjay is also crying. He says, they have cheated me. They have gone away without telling me. And Srila Prabhupada says that in spiritual matters, one is allowed to engage in such cheating, such transcendental fraud. Srila Prabhupada says, gives the example of Sanatana Goswami. He also lied to attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada also gives example of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, who also lied to get the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then finally, Srila Prabhupada gives his own example, how he cheated his family members, 3 children and wife, to take Vanaprastha and ultimately take sannyas for a higher purpose, for service of Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga. We continue thereafter, text 38. Srila Sutta Goswami is giving this description to Shaunakadi Rishis. Atha jagama bhagavan naradaha sahatumburuhu pratyuthaya bhivadyaha sanujo bhyarchayan munim. Translation and purport by our beloved founder Acharya Nitya Lila Pravishtha Om Vishnupad Shri Srīmad Abhayacharana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. While Sanjay was thus speaking, Sanjay was speaking to Yudhishthir Maharaj in reply to Yudhishthir Maharaj's inquiry. While Sanjay was thus speaking, who came? Throughout our scriptures, whenever there is a need, who comes? Shripad Narad Muni. So as this conversation is taking place between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Sanjay, Shripad Narad Muni appears there. While Sanjay was thus speaking, Shri Narad, the powerful devotee of the Lord, appeared on the scene. And what was Narad Muni carrying with him? Naradaha Saha Tumburu. He had his tumburu, his musical instrument, his veena, the stringed instrument he was carrying, on which he always chants Radhika Raman, Radhika Raman, Radhika Raman, Radha Raman, Radha Raman. Narada Muni Bajai Vina Radhika Ramana Name. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. So Narada Saha Tumburu. He came there with his musical instrument. Maharaj Yudhishthir and his brothers received Shripad Narad Muni properly by getting up from their seats and offering obeisances. So Sa Anujaha. Look at the 4th line. Sa Anuja means along with his younger brothers. Yudhishthir Maharaj with his younger brothers. Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev. Abhyarchayan, properly received the Munim. And here it is said Bhagwan Narada. Bhagwan Narada. So Narad Muni is addressed as Bhagwan in this verse. So Narad Muni appeared there, and immediately Yudhishthir Maharaj and his brothers got up from their seat. This is very important. It's part of our Vedic culture. We show respect by getting up from our seat. To remain seated in front of a respectable personality is considered low class. It is considered disrespectful, and only low class people are disrespectful. High class people, high class means highly cultured. People are manadena. They like to give respect. So it is etiquette to stand up when a respectable personality comes. I remember when I was talking to two kids who had just come from India to America. They were in elementary school, 4th, 5th, when they migrated to America. So they were used to going to Indian schools. And when they came to America, the teachers loved them. The two sisters. The teachers loved them. So I asked them why. They said, because we have this habit from India that whenever the teacher walks into the classroom, we stand up. Good morning, teacher. We stand up and we wish. Said nobody does that. The kids are sitting, doing their own stuff. So the teachers found us very respectful. And during the parent-teacher meeting, they made it a point. The teachers, they complimented. They said, your daughters are so well behaved, so respectful. So this is our culture, the Vedic culture, where we stand up. We get up from our sitting place to show respect. It's a mark of respect. Yudhishthira Maharaj immediately got up. Whereas we see in Srīmad Bhāgavatam, when Shri who is the teacher of the demigods? I'm forgetting. Brihaspati. When Shri Brihaspati ji enters the assembly of King Indra, Indradev, Indradev does not stand up, does not get up, does not offer respect. And therefore, it's considered a great Guru Aparadh to not stand up when a respectable personality like Guru walks in. So Indra lost all his power, all his opulence. That story is there. And that was the cause of, if I remember correctly, Bali Maharaj defeating Indra. Because Bali Maharaj worshipped his Gurudev, Shri Shukracharya ji, very nicely. Whereas Indra had disrespected his Guru, Shri Brihaspati. Also, we see how Indra disrespected Durvasa Muni. When Durvasa Muni offered his own garland, carelessly, Indra not caring, he gave that garland to his elephant carrier, Airavat. And what happens? When the master is not respectful, the servant will never respect. Indra did not respect the garland that Durvasa Muni gave. Carelessly gave it to the elephant carrier. So Indra did not care so much for the garland. So Indra's servant Airavat will also not care. A leader has to be exemplary. If a leader is very respectful, then the followers will be respectful. You see, Devananda Pandit was not respectful towards the devotees, towards Srivas Thakur. So what happened? Devananda Pandit's disciples who were sitting there thoroughly disrespected Srivas Thakur. They threw him out on the road in the middle of the Bhagavatam class because he was experiencing Roman, Chakampa, Shruta, all those ecstatic symptoms, Ashtasakti, Vikar. Why? Because the Guru was not respectful. So the leader was not respectful. So leaders, elders, we have to set example to our children and to the younger devotees. The culture of respect, how important it is to show respect. Again and again in Srīmad Bhāgavatam we are seeing there's a culture of respect. How Shripad Narad Muni is being received by Maharaj Yudhishthir. How Vidurji was received by Maharaj Yudhishthir. Or how Srila Vyasadeva received Shripad Narad Muni, who was his guru. How the sages of Naimisharanya received Suta Goswami. How Parishit Maharaj showed respect to Shukdev Goswami. by attentively listening, asking sincere questions, giving everything he had to the process of hearing from Sri Shukdev Goswami. This is the culture of respect. Manadena. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says it is fundamental to our bhakti to give respect and to not expect it in return. Amanina, but manadena. Both are very important. To not expect respect, to be prideless, and manadena, to give respect, to be respectful. So, when Durvasa Muni's garland was not honored by Indra, carelessly given to the elephant, Airavat also did not respect. He crushed it carelessly under his legs. And Durvasa Muni got offended. And Indra lost again his power. And this time, the demons became very powerful, and then they lost everything. I think then the Sagar Manthan Leela took place as a result of this, because the demigods were defeated. So they had to go and seek guidance from Brahmaji and then Lord Vishnu. So like that, being disrespectful has very serious consequences on our spiritual life. So we should be respectful, and we should not expect respect for ourselves. Here, Bhagwan Narada Saha Tumburu. As soon as Narad Muni came with his tumburu, his stringed instrument, Narad Muni was akinchan. He had nothing. All he had was his stringed instrument on which he chanted Radharaman, Radharaman. Maharaj Yudhishthir had royal opulence, so much wealth, luxuries, comforts, power, prestige, but he's standing up to offer respect to someone who has nothing. Why? Because Shripad Narad Muni has something higher. He has bhakti, he has devotion, he has a relationship with Krishna, he has transcendental knowledge, he is Jagat Guru. He has been the guru of Valmiki Muni, he has been the guru of Prahlad Maharaj, he has been the guru of Dhruv Maharaj. He has been playing such an important role in so many pastimes. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very respectful to Shripad Narad Muni. Purport. So he got up. Yudhishthira and his brothers received Shripad Narad Muni properly by getting up from their seats and offering obeisances. Pratyuthaya means they got up. Pratyuthaya. Uthaya means to get up. We have the Utthana Ekadashi. Utthana Ekadashi after Chaturmasya, when Krishna, Lord Vishnu wakes up. And Abhivadya, offering obeisances. So Pratyuthaya, they got up from their seats, Yudhishthira and his brothers, and Abhivadya, they offered obeisances. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Devarshi Narad is described here as Bhagwan due to his being the most confidential devotee of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna and his very confidential devotees are treated on the same level. Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastra. Why? Because they are very much dear to the Lord. And why they are dear to the Lord? Because they travel everywhere to preach the glories of the Lord. Bhuvi Giranantiye Bhurita Jana. Further down in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, actually a living being cannot be a non-devotee. Actually, nobody can be a non-devotee. Because Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. By constitution, one is a devotee. But when one becomes a non-devotee or non-believer, it is to be understood that the person concerned is not in sound condition of life. If you are not devotee, that means we are in a diseased condition. Further down in the last part of the paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes, Narad Muni had no business save and except singing the glories of Krishna, along with his veena, a musical stringed instrument. Prabhupada also points out earlier in the purport that in Bhagavad Gita, end of the 18th chapter, Srila Prabhupada says that no one is dearer to him than one who preaches the glories of Krishna and Bhagavad Gita to the devotees. So in this way, by preaching, non-devotees can be converted into devotees, Prabhupada says. But that preaching requires expertise, purity, realization. And Sripad Narad Muni is the most expert preacher. Most expert preacher. We don't have time. Otherwise, I would have liked to elaborate on this point, how Sripad Narad Muni is an expert preacher. But we see it again and again, how he preached to Chitraketu Maharaj, how he preached to Maharaj Prachini Barhi, how he preached to Kansa, convincing Kansa to send Akrur to Vrindavan, convincing Kansa that the daughter that you attempted to kill, Devaki's daughter, she was not Devaki's daughter, she was Yashoda's daughter. And that Krishna, who is killing all your demons, who enter Vrindavan, the son of Nanda and Yashoda, he is not Nanda's son. He is Vasudev's son and Devaki's son, who has been prophesized to be the cause of your death. So everything to expedite. And then Kansa got so angry that Vasudev lied to him that this daughter is my child, whereas she was not. She was Nanda's child. So when Narad Muni revealed the truth of Krishna to Kansa, Kansa was so angry that he said, let me go and kill. He drew his sword, said, let me go and kill Vasudev. I will deal with Krishna Balram later, but first let me go and kill Vasudev. Again, the expert preaching of Sripad Narad Muni. He convinced Kansa not to kill. He said, if you kill Vasudev, you know what will happen? The news will spread that you have killed Vasudev. Then Krishna Balram will never come to Mathura. Nanda Baba will take them into hiding. Somewhere in the forest, they will hide, they will grow up, become stronger, and then come and kill you. Now they are kids, they are only 11 years old. Let's bring them here to Mathura and kill them here. You can bring them to Mathura and then kill. Because here you have the advantage. It's your own kingdom. So like that, so many examples are there. Sripad Narad Muni's preaching is so perfect always. So text 39. So Narad Muni appears on the scene. Yudhishthira Maharaj respectfully receives Narad Muni. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is going to speak to Narad Muni. Yudhishthira Uvacha Naham Veda Gatim Pitror Bhagavan Kwa Gata Itaha Ambava Hata Putrartha Kwa Gata Chatapasvini. So after receiving Sripad Narad Muni properly, offering obeisances, Yudhishthira Maharaj is straight going to the question because he's in distress. Now there is no point in asking how you're doing and how are you. No, straight he's going to the point. Oh godly personality, Bhagavan. Again he's addressing Sripad Narad Muni as Bhagavan. Hey Bhagavan, godly personality, I do not know where my two uncles have gone. Who are the two uncles? Dhritarashtra and Vidur. Nor can I find my ascetic aunt who is grief-stricken by the loss of all her sons, Tapaswini. Kwa gatacha Tapaswini. Where did the Tapaswini go? The ascetic aunt, Gandhari. And I don't know, Naham Veda Gatim Pitror. I do not know, Naham Veda, I do not know Gatim, where my uncles have gone. And he's calling Gandhari Amba, like a mother. And she's Tapaswini because she is Hata Putra Arta. Arta means aggrieved. Arti Artharto Jigyasu Gyanicha Bharatarshava. So Arti means one who is going through a lot of distress. She's going through a lot of distress. In the purport, in the middle, Srila Prabhupada writes, an ascetic is never disturbed by all kinds of sufferings. I repeat, an ascetic is never disturbed by all kinds of sufferings, and that makes the ascetic strong and determined on the path of spiritual progress. So we should tolerate the sufferings. What Prabhupada is saying is that we should tolerate the sufferings. That's what makes us strong on the spiritual path. Text 40. Karnadhara iva pare bhagavan paradarshakaha atha babhashe bhagavan narado munisаттamaha. Yudhishthira Maharaj continues to address Sripad Narad Muni. Yudhishthira Maharaj says, you are like a captain of a ship. Karnadhar means captain. Karnadhara iva. You are like a captain. of the ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. Guru is always Karanadhar, captain. Thus addressed, the godly personality Devarshi Narad, greatest of the philosopher devotees, began to speak. Abhabhase, he began to speak. Bhagavan Narada Muni Sattamaha. Sattama, the greatest philosopher, Narad Muni, he began to speak after being asked questions by Yudhishthir Maharaj. Where did my uncles go? Dhritarashtra and Vidur. Where did my tapaswini motherly aunt go? Gandhari. So now Narad Muni will speak. Purport. There are different types of philosophers, and the greatest of all of them are those who have seen the personality of Godhead Krishna and have surrendered themselves in the transcendental loving service of Krishna. So who is the greatest philosopher? Not one who has a lot of linguistic expertise and can come up with different philosophies, different books. Which philosopher is the best? Not one who has maximum followers, millions of followers on YouTube and Facebook. No. What makes a philosopher great is whether the philosopher has got self-realization or not, whether the philosopher has seen Krishna face to face or not, and whether the philosopher is engaged, completely surrendered, Sharanagat, surrendered in the transcendental loving service of Krishna. That is the criteria. Among all such pure devotees of Lord Krishna, Devarshi Narad is the chief. Srila Prabhupada writes, Narad Muni's position is very special. Further down in the purport, Prabhupada writes, one must be very faithful, learned, and renounced. Otherwise, one cannot be a pure devotee. If we want to become a pure devotee, and Srila Prabhupada wants us to become pure devotees, Krishna wants us to be pure devotee. Ananyas chintayanto mam. So, if you want to become pure devotees, then Prabhupada says we have to develop these qualities. What? Number one, we should be faithful. Faithful to our Guru. Faithful to the path that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And being faithful means to listen to one's Guru's lectures, to read one's Guru's books. It is easy to say I am faithful, but that faithfulness should show in our actions. Learned. Learned means one should understand one's Guru. Vidmahe. In the Gayatri Mantra we use the word Vidmahe. Understand Guru Gauranga Gopinath. Understand first. You should be learned and renounced. Renounced means not involved in sense gratification, not attached to sense gratification. Prabhupada says one must be very faithful, learned, and renounced. Otherwise, one cannot be a pure devotee. Yudhishthir Maharaj, Devarshi Narad, they were all pure devotees, Prabhupada writes. Text 41, Narada Uvacha. So now, Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, where are my uncles? Where is my aunt? You are the captain of the ship in this great material ocean. You guide us to our destination. When Yudhishthir Maharaj inquired submissively from Shripad Narad Muni being Jagat Guru begins to speak. Ma kanchana shucho rajan yadishwara vasham jagat loka sapala yasyeme vahanti balimish shituhu sasam yunakti bhutani sa eva vyunakti cha. Very beautifully, Sri Narad Muni said, O pious king, Shucho Rajan. Shucho Rajan. Shucha means Ma Sucha. In Gita, Krishna says that don't be anxious, don't worry. So Narad Muni is saying, Ma Sucha, same thing. Don't lament. Ma Kanchana Sucho Rajan. O Maharaj Yudhishthir, do not Ma Sucha. By all means, do not lament. Yad Ishwara Vasham Jagat. This whole world is under किसके वश में है? संपूर्ण जगत भगवान के. ईश्वर. ईश्वर परम कृष्ण. Yat Ishvara Vasham Jagat. Everybody is under the control of Krishna. Therefore, Lokan, all living beings and their leaders, Sapala, along with their leaders, carry on worship to be well protected. They balim, they offer tribute, they offer donations, they make offerings, they offer worship so that Ishitu, they are protected. It is Krishna only who brings them together and disperses them. Samyunakti means to come together, Bhutani, all living entities, and Sa Eva Viyunkti, and disperses them also, brings them together and disperses. We are helpless, my dear friends. Did we choose our parents? Did we choose our siblings? Did we choose our children? How helpless we are. How helpless we are in this material world. We don't get to choose. They are just given to us. Which family, which country we are born in. Do we have any control? Nothing. So we are paradhin. We are dependent. But the problem is we try to be controllers. And that's where there is the mismatch. And we suffer. We lose our balance. It is Krishna who brings us together, and it is Krishna who disperses us. It is beyond our control. We may be in a relationship, husband, wife, parent, child, brother, sister, and that relationship can be broken anytime. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. In the form of death, every relationship that we hold on to will be snatched away from us, and we have no control. Just like we had no control over who became our relative, our loved one, we have no control how long that relationship will last. We are all under control of the stringent laws of material nature, which are created by Krishna. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This prakriti is controlling us, and she is working under Krishna's control. And prakriti has been ordered by Krishna. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubhashubham. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubhashubham. Whatever shubhashubh karma we have done, we have to face. Purport Srila Prabhupada writes, first sentence, every living being, either in this material world or in the spiritual world, is under the control of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, Krishna. Important Siddhanta. Every living being in the material world and in the spiritual world is under the control of Krishna. We should not think that when we become liberated and we go to the spiritual world, we become the controllers. Krishna is the Ishwar under all circumstances. We are always predominated, and Krishna is always the predominator. We are always Prakriti, and he is always the Purush. We can never become the Purush. Krishna is the enjoyer, the Purush, and we are enjoyed, Prakriti. Ordinarily, in the next paragraph, ordinarily, no one can change the course of one's due happiness and distress by plan. Ordinarily, we cannot change prarabdha. It's predetermined. Everyone has to accept them as they come under the subtle arrangement of Kal or invincible time. Yes. These good and bad results based on our association with the three modes of material nature. Karana guna sangasya sad asad yoni janmasu. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Karana guna sangasya, guna sang. By associating with the modes of material nature, sad asad yoni janmasu. We get birth in good and bad species, families, place. So all these three modes of material nature are agitated, activated by what? By time factor, Kal. So it's all going on. We are helpless. We have no control over what we have done in the past. We have no knowledge of what we have done in the past. But definitely we have done very sinful activities, committed sinful activities in the past. That's why we are in this material world. That's why we are in Kali Yuga. So whatever has happened, that is not in control. We have to take shelter of Krishna. We have to develop Krishna Sharanagati. Because Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhya Mokshayishyami Ma Sucha. Krishna will free us from the whole mountain of karma that we have accrued. We just have to surrender to Krishna and be happy. Text 42. Yatha gavo nasi protas tantyam baddhascha damabhihi vaktantyam namabhir baddha vahanti balim ishituhu. So Srīmad Narad Muni is saying, don't lament. Everything is under the control of Krishna. Krishna brings us together, Krishna separates us. In verse 42, Sripad Narad Muni tells Yudhishthira Maharaj explains with an example. As a cow bound through the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the laws of the Supreme Lord. We have to obey the laws of the Supreme Lord. Krishna is always in control. And the example of the cow is very good. A cow has a rope that goes through its nose and it is tied to a pole. The cow cannot go far. It's a long rope. So within the length of the rope, the cow can do anything. Cow can walk, cow can stand, cow can sit, cow can sleep, cow can eat grass, the cow can give milk. Within the length of that rope, it is free. It can do whatever it wants, but it cannot go beyond the length of the rope. Similarly, we have our prarabdha and we are bound by that, like the rope. But within the realm of the prarabdha, whatever lifespan facilities we are given, we have a lot of free will to do so many things, just like the cow. So we can either follow the four regulative principles or we can break them. We can either chant Hare Krishna or we can not chant Hare Krishna. We can take darshan of Radha Krishna in the temple or we can watch a movie. The choice is ours. And nowadays, the cell phone is a very, very big distraction, and even seasoned, experienced devotees are defeated by smartphone. Very dangerous. If we have to learn one thing from today's reading of Srīmad Bhāgavatam, let us be careful of distractions. We have to control the phone, not the other way around. Just because there is internet and there are apps doesn't mean we keep browsing. It takes away our precious time. Every moment is important. We have to remind ourselves that time is very precious. Chanakya Pandit said, and Srila Prabhupada quotes, that even we give the entire wealth of the world, we cannot buy 1 moment back. What to speak of 1 hour or 1 day? 1 moment we cannot. So we have to be careful of the mode of passion and ignorance. Modes of passion. When we are under the influence of mode of passion and ignorance, we spend a lot of time on the smartphone. And it takes away time from our more important duties. Spiritual duties, duty to family, duty to ourselves. So it steals away time, and time is the most priceless thing in this world. So we have to be very careful that we control. We only check the phone scheduled intervals, not all the time. Anybody messaging, kiska message aaya? Kya hai? No, not like that. Why should we be controlled by the phone? Previously, when people did not have smartphones, they were not communicating. But now that we have facility, constantly we are checking messages. Checking messages on Facebook Messenger, on WhatsApp, on iMessage, on email. So many notifications are coming. The bank gives notification. This app gives notification. That notification, this reminder. We are constantly glued to the phone. How will we do bhajan? How will we have clear intelligence? So we have to really control the phone. The phone should not control us. We decide what we are going to watch and how much we are going to watch. So best is to not use any of those apps and only use the browser to access ISKCON Desire Tree and hear the audio recordings, not even video, just audio recordings. So minimum interference. You can just keep the phone, you don't have to look at the phone, just keep the phone and keep hearing. So we have to be very careful what we do with our free will. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes in the first sentence that everybody thinks that we are free, we are independent. We celebrate Independence Day collectively, individually. But Prabhupada says no one is free from the severe laws of nature created by Krishna. Nobody is free from the laws of nature. How can we say I'm independent? We are an independent nation. It's so relative. Nobody is independent and no country is independent. Everybody is under the laws of nature. Prabhupada says severe laws. They are severe because they cannot be disobeyed, Prabhupada writes. See the second sentence. They are severe because they cannot be disobeyed under any circumstance. The man-made laws may be evaded by cunning outlaws, but in the codes of the supreme lawmaker, there is not the slightest possibility of neglecting the laws. In this material world, we can evade paying tax. We can go to a nice tax expert and avoid tax. We can find loopholes. People get away with murder. People get away with robbery. People get away with so many crimes in this material world. But that is, they're getting away from the man-made government. But we cannot get away from God-made rules, God-made government. Krishna also has a government here, the demigod government. And Krishna has made rules, and there are demigods who make arrangements to make sure that justice is served. We can murder somebody and get away from the police, get away from the law of the land. But after death, 5th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam tells us how we are going to be punished by Yamraj. Yamraj is a Mahajan. He is empowered by Krishna. We cannot fool Yamraj. Yamraj never forgets to punish. Never. If Yamraj has to make a mistake, Yamraj will make a mistake on the side of over punishing, but never under punishing. What is the praman? He sent Yamdutas to punish Ajamil, even though Ajamil was not supposed to be punished because he had chanted the holy name Narayan. So ultimately, if you read the 6th canto, Yamraj says, I made a mistake. So when Yamraj makes mistakes, he makes mistakes on the side of over punishing. Never, अरे तो भूल गया punishment देने को, ऐसा नहीं. He will never make a, he will err on the side of extra punishment. Yamraj will never err on the side of forgetting to punish. So we cannot get away, Prabhupada says. Further down, Prabhupada writes, all living beings in the material world have taken up the risk of conditioned life by their own selection. Another important Siddhanta. Prabhupada is saying we are in this material world because of our own choice, because of our own mistake. We are identifying with this material world and we are holding on to our attachments. We are holding on to Maya. Our acharyas give the famous example of the monkey. There is a pot with a narrow neck and there are fruits inside, and the monkey wants to eat. Monkey puts the hand inside, grabs a fruit, and is now the hand is stuck and the hunter is coming to catch the monkey. Hand is stuck. All the monkey has to do is let go of the fruit and just pull the hand out. But the monkey is grabbing onto the fruit, doesn't want to let go. So similarly, it's not that Maya has caught us. We are holding on to Maya. We are holding on to our material attachments. So we have to help ourselves by giving up those attachments. Krishna is waiting for us. Prabhupada says, we have taken up conditioned life by our own selection. Only way to get out of the entanglement is to agree to obey the Supreme Lord Krishna. You have to obey the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna says, Man mana bhava man bhakta. To become my devotee, think of me. That's what we should do. Mam eva shashya samshaya. You will come to me. Further down, Srila Prabhupada writes the secular state, we live in a secular country. India is a secular country, America also a secular country. The secular state or the godless state allows the citizens to break the laws of God. Because we are a secular country. Secular country means they don't enforce any religion. They don't support any religion and they don't oppose any religion. They are tatastha. But it doesn't work. We have to become antaranga. We have to take shelter of the internal potency. The secular state or godless state. Prabhupada says secularism means godlessness. Because you are not supporting God. You are not opposing God also, but you are not supporting God also. Secular state allows the citizens to break the laws of God. Why they can break the laws of God? They can perform abortions, they can eat meat. Why? Because it's a secular state. There is godlessness. But the secular state restricts people from disobeying the laws of the state. See, the secular government allows citizens to break Krishna's laws, but the secular government will not allow citizens to break its laws, its own laws, constitution. Which means constitution of a particular country, which is written by some mortal person, ordinary mortal, is more important than what Srila Vyasdev has written, than what Bhagwan Narad Muni has taught. That is the society we live in, my dear friends. So we have to respect our constitution, we have to respect the country, we have to respect the laws of the land. At the same time, we must understand that there are ills in the society because people have become godless. Prabhupada says the result is that the people in general suffer more by breaking the laws of God than by obeying the imperfect laws made by man. Hare Krishna. I hope this is clear. Further down, Srila Prabhupada says the factual position of the living being is, however, that the living being is the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Jivara Swarupa Krishna and Nityatas. In his liberated state, he renders service to Krishna in transcendental love and thus enjoys a life full of freedom. Even sometimes on the equal level with Krishna, or sometimes more than Krishna. Can you just try to absorb this sentence of Srila Prabhupada? In the liberated state, the living entity renders service to Krishna in transcendental love. Tesham satayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. And thus enjoys a life of full freedom. So yes, we are predominated, we are enjoyed, we are controlled by Krishna. Yes. But when we become liberated and Krishna can trust us and there is a relationship of love between us and Krishna, Krishna gives us full freedom. Freedom to love, freedom to reciprocate. And gives us full enjoyment, full bliss. Krishna, who is Ananda Vigraha, Satchidananda Vigraha, gives us full Ananda. Prabhupada says, even sometimes on the equal level with Krishna, we can enjoy as much as Krishna. Or sometimes more than. We can enjoy even more than Krishna. So, therefore, Chapter 4 of the Ādi Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that the happiness that Radharani experiences is millions of times more than Krishna. See, Prabhupada is giving such a deep siddhanta in such simple words. Sometimes the devotee enjoys more than the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that Radharani's enjoyment is more than that of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna wanted to taste the love of Radharani. Text 43. Yatha kridopas Karanam samyoga vigama viha ichchaya kriditu syatam tathaiveschesya nrinam. Sripad Narad Muni continues his philosophical discourse to Yudhishthira Maharaj and his brothers. Sripad Narad Muni says, as a player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will. You want to play chess? Okay. Let's arrange the pieces. You be black, I'll be white. You play. We are done. Okay, we just wind it up. As a player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will, so the Supreme Lord, his supreme will, brings people together and then separates them. Hare Krishna. This is Krishna's arrangement. We are just playthings. We are kashtera putali. Intelligent is that transcendentalist who understands that actually we are all kashtera putali, and let me be in my constitutional position of being a kashtera putali. Let me voluntarily be a puppet, not a disobedient puppet. Let me be obedient puppet, a puppet that holds on to the strings and dances as the puppeteer wants to dance. Srila Prabhupada was like that. Nachao, nachao, Prabhu, nachao se mate, kashtera putali atha nachao se mate. Purport. We must know for certain that the particular position in which we are now set up is an arrangement of the supreme will in terms of our own acts in the past. Please, I'm going to read the sentence again. Please pay full attention. Very important. Srila Prabhupada is saying, we must know for certain that the particular position in which we are now set up is an arrangement of the supreme will, Krishna's will, in terms of our own acts in the past. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubhashubham. Brihadaranyaka Purana, this is mentioned, that it's Krishna's arrangement that definitely we will get the good and bad results of our karma. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubhashubham. Whatever happens, it is by the will of the Supreme Lord in terms of our own acts in the past. What we have done. Ona kahu ke dukha sukha kar data, nija krita karma bhoga sunabrata. A rich man gets his son born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Yeah, a rich man will have a child born with a silver spoon. But the child who came as the rich man's son deserved such a place. And therefore he is placed there by the will of the Lord. Prabhupada is writing, if someone is born in a rich family, aristocratic family, well, there must have been good karma previously, pious activities. That's why he got such a birth, comfortable birth, generally speaking. And Prabhupada says, and at the particular moment when the child has to be removed from that place, he is also carried by the will of the Supreme Lord. Someone may take a birth in a rich and famous family, but ultimately the person has to die. Either as a child, as a youth, as an adult, or as an old person. But one has to die. The same thing happens in the case of a poor man also. If someone is born in a poor family, then that is the karma. But then the poor person may become rich in the same life or in the next life. It depends on karma. Neither rich man nor poor man has any control over such meetings or separations of living beings. Generally, the law of karma, further down, Prabhupada says, generally the law of karma is that one is awarded the result of one's own actions, but in special cases, by the will of Krishna, such resultant actions are changed also. So Krishna is Swarat, and Krishna is Param Ishwar, his supreme controller, and is fully independent. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada would call Krishna the transcendental autocrat. Autocrat. What Krishna wants, that will happen. He is Satya Sankalpa. So, Krishna, if he wants, he can change the laws of karma for us, for the devotee. Someone may be destined to happen, but Krishna, if he wants, he can change it. But this change can be effected by the will of Krishna only and no one else. Only Krishna can do this, nobody else. Nobody else can change the destiny. Even Brahmaji, once he has written, then even Brahmaji cannot change it. Brahmaji also is a dependent servant of Krishna. Ekela Ishwara Krishna Arasara Bhritya. Ishwar means controller. Ekela Ishwar Krishna. Only Krishna is the controller. And Prabhupada says, this change in the law of karma can be effected by the will of Krishna only and no one else. Therefore, the example of the player cited in this verse is quite appropriate. For the supreme will is absolutely free to do whatever he likes. Krishna is free to do whatever he likes. Yatha tatha va vidhatu lampato mat prananathastu sa eva napara. This is the fact. Krishna can do whatever he wants with us. But a devotee becomes glorious simply when the devotee accepts this. Ashlishava padaratam pinashtama. These changes of resultant actions are especially rendered by Krishna when a pure devotee is involved. Krishna changes prarabdha. Krishna changes law of karma for a devotee, especially when it's a pure devotee. Prabhupada writes, for a pure devotee, Krishna can bend the rules, do anything. So we'll stop here because it is 9:30. Granthra Srimad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll continue from verse number 44. Day after tomorrow, Krishna willing. Hare Krishna. So Shama Kishori Mataji, then Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Nandat Pranam. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, I'm a little confused about this verse 43, because here they say that example of player and his plaything should not be misunderstood. And I know Krishna is all perfect, but when you say that he brings men together and separates them, does that, and maybe it's inappropriate to say this, but does that make him a little shallow or capricious, like he's just doing whatever he wants? Or how do we understand this?
Urdhvam gachanti satvastha madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganna gunavrittisya adho gachanti tamasa. Krishna has made laws, and those laws are clearly spelled out in the Shastra. If we do good activities, we go to the pious places, pious environment, pious planets. Urdhvam gachanti. If we are in the mode of Rajogun, then we stay here in the present circumstances. If we are in the mode of ignorance, we glide down to the hellish planets. So these rules are made by Krishna. We did not make these rules. Krishna has made these rules, and these rules have been given to us. So a person may organize a soccer game and spell out the laws. You can only kick the ball with your feet. You have to hit a goal. Goal will be considered only if it goes through that net. So these rules are there, and a player who follows the rules and plays by the rules will be rewarded, will be successful. A person says, no, I will kick the ball in my own goal. Why should I kick only in the opponent's goal? I will kick. So if we do like that manmani acharan, if we behave whimsically, we behave independently, then we are the losers. And then we are given a penalty, or we are given a yellow card or red card, orange card, whatever they say. So then we cannot say, oh, is this capricious? Is this like crazy? Like, is God crazy? Why is he doing all this? No, you are getting all that because avashyameva bhoktavam kritam karma shubhashubham tattenu kampam susamikshamano bhunjana eva atma kritam vipakam. Vritrasur Maharaj also says, aham hare tava padaika mula, that series of 4 verses. In the last verse he says, mamottama shloka janeshu sakhyam samsara chakra bhramata. Samsara chakra bhramata, how? Swakarma bhi. Because of my own karma. I am going through this samsara chakra bhramata swakarma bhi, because of my own activities. But Krishna is so merciful, Guru Maharaj is so merciful that even though swakarma bhi, samsara chakra bhramata, we are going through the samsara chakra because of our own karma. Brahmanda bhramite kona bhagyavana jeev Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata bij. Krishna interferes with our karmic cycle. Guru Maharaj interferes with our karmic cycle and gives us a chance. So whatever is happening, Krishna is bringing us together, separating us, as if someone is playing a game. Yes, that example is appropriate because this is actually all a game. If you read the 11th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam, and forget in this verse, the word krida is used in the verse that you are referring to, as if krida, as if a game. 11th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam also says that, I'll tell you a story. This is in Bhaktamal. Janak Maharaj, he once had a dream. Janak Maharaj once had a dream that he had become a beggar. So he asked all the Pandits in his Sabha next morning that I am a king, but in the dream I saw that I had become a pauper. So which one is the fact? Now it's a very difficult question. Is he a pauper? Yes, because he saw that in the dream. He had the experience of being a pauper. He actually felt that dream. So you cannot negate that. That's also a fact. And is he a king? Yes, he is a king. So both are true. So he said, no, which one is true? So nobody could answer that question. And then Ashtavakra Muni comes there. The famous Ashtavakra Muni. He comes. And Janak Maharaj receives him respectfully and asks him the question. And Ashtavakra Muni immediately replies, he said, both are false. Neither are you the king, nor are you pauper. Because both these things are temporary. That dream was temporary, just for a few minutes. Yes, you experienced that you had become a pauper. And you are experiencing being the king for a few thousand years. But in the grand scheme of things, in the eternity, because you are eternal, Ajo nitya shashvatam yam purano, na hanyate hanya mane sharira. Jeev is, the soul is eternal. From the point of view of eternality, your span of life as a king is minuscule. What difference it makes whether you are a king for 100 years or you saw a dream for 100 seconds? Both are insignificant. Eternity means endless. So he says both are false. Neither are you king nor are you pauper. So then Janak Maharaj says, I accept you as my guru. And Janak Maharaj surrenders to Ashtavakra Muni, accepts him as Gurudev. So now one may say that what is happening here? Yes, this is what is happening. This whole material existence is actually like a dream. The 11th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam says this. It is like a dream. And here it is said it is like a game, krida. Why? Because think about it. We are eternal soul. We are spiritual entities. Correct? All the experiences that we are having in this material world, all the relationships that we are having in this material world are material relationships based on the body, but we are not the body. We are not the body. So I may wear this Costco banyan. Okay? I bought 6 banyans together. Same color, same size, in a big packet, Kirkland. Now, I wear them. And suppose I wear one banyan today, Thursday class I wear another banyan, and I say, oh, both were twins, huh? Dono twins. But what relation do they have? Some agricultural field grew cotton. That cotton was processed. It was made into fine thread. Some machine created these t-shirts. And they are there. Someday one t-shirt will get torn. I will dump it or use it for pocha. And the other t-shirt will remain. Or I may keep one t-shirt somewhere else in India. They are separated. So for someone to identify with the t-shirt as cousins, it is foolishness. Because they are not cousins. They didn't choose. They had no choice. Some cotton was plucked. It was fashioned into threads and a t-shirt was manufactured in a company. Similar t-shirts are manufactured in so many other companies. And I may buy that and then keep them in the same wardrobe next to each other. Then can I say, oh, these are second cousins? No, these are all imaginary things. What father, what son? Do we remember who our mother was in the last life? Do we remember who our father was? Who our husband was? Who our child was in just the last life, previous life? What to speak of 50 lifetimes ago, 1 million lifetimes ago. So you see, but now we are so absorbed. My son, my daughter, my husband, my mother, my father, my country, isn't it? Completely we are identifying. This morning I was listening to a lecture of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Maharaj was saying, he was talking on the power of false ego, because all this is happening because of false ego. Maharaj said, think about it. A blade of grass, a grass is a jiva. That grass has the potential to become Brahmaji. Is it not? Brahmaji also is a jiva. The blade of grass is also a jiva. But that blade of grass has such a false ego that the blade of grass just feels I am grass. That's all. Can you imagine? That blade of grass is same as you, same as me. And by mercy of Guru Gauranga, we are discussing Srīmad Bhāgavatam. And that blade of grass simply thinks, I am a blade of grass. Do you want to go somewhere? No. Do you want to do something? No. They just live and they die. Then they become a tree. Live and they die. Years and years and years. That is the power of false ego. But actually, if you think about it, it's a pure soul. Now listen, that grass is a pure jiva. Maharaj said, I'm quoting Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, that soul in that blade of grass knows all the 4 Vedas. That jiva in that blade of grass knows Krishna. That jiva is Satchidananda. It is eternal. It is full of knowledge. And it is full of ecstatic bliss, spiritual bliss. Yet, at present, it is thinking it is grass. Nothing more, nothing less. This is the power of false ego. When we get covered over by material energy, we are completely overwhelmed. But if you think about it, nothing material energy can do can take away the Sat Chid Ananda Swarup of that jiva. Can it? Even if you drop an atomic bomb, ground zero, on the head of a person, can it do anything to the Nayanam Chindanti Shastrani? Cannot do anything to the soul. So if you see factually, we are indestructible. We are eternal. We are lovers of Krishna. We are part of Krishna. We are Krishnera Ansha. We are Mama Amsha Jiva Loka Jiva Buddha Sanatana, eternally. So this whole material experience, it is so unreal. It's like a dream. Tell me, how is it different from a dream? In the dream also we get absorbed. Oh, I have got cancer. We may dream that I have got cancer and we may be sweating out of fear. It feels so real. Or someone has died. We see in the dream, some family member has died. And we feel that's real. It's a real experience. But how is it different? Because once you wake up, that dream is over. You cannot go to the doctor and say, I saw I had got cancer. Can you give me chemotherapy? Can you operate on me? Doctor will laugh. He said, no, you're fine. Go home, relax. Go see a psychiatrist. So it had no factual basis, that whole dream experience. Similarly, this entire material experience, if you see from the point of view of the eternal soul, all our identifications are misidentifications. It's all like a game or like a dream. And ultimately, we are all destined to be with Krishna. It's only a matter of time when we accept the kripa of Guru and Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti Lata Bij. So therefore, 11th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam Uddhav Geet, as well as this verse, it appropriately uses the term, it is Kridavat. How else do you explain it? This whole material creation, Krishna has created. Krishna is not attached. Krishna has nothing to do with this material creation. It just exists. It is destroyed. It is created, destroyed because we want to be here. Although we are eternal. So it's like a game, really. When a player is playing a game, they are completely into it. Yeah, they will have all these exclamations. Yes, I did it. Yeah, they will pump the air and they are बिल्कुल ऐसा आवेश में आ जाते हैं खेलते खेलते. But you just pat them on the shoulder and just remind them, did you just solve the problem of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi? Why are you so ecstatic? So what, you get to hold that cup for 1 year or for 4 years? So what? So what, you get a Mercedes-Benz car for being man of the series or most valuable player or whatever. That money is going to go away. So they may feel such enjoyment and involvement in that game, but actually it's just a game. You walk out of the stadium and it's all over. Who cares? Who cares who won the World Cup in 1982? We don't even know. And those people are dead and gone. And when they're standing in front of Yamraj, is it going to matter if they won a World Cup or a Ranji Cup or a Gully cricket? Doesn't matter. It's all finished, over. So similarly, when we go back to Godhead, all the experiences we had in this world, all the sins we committed, all the offenses we committed, all the happiness, pleasure, gain, loss, educational qualification, whatever we earned, whatever we lost in this material world, it just ceases to exist. It's gone. Maharaj said that this whole material world is like a big ocean. Samashritaya pada pallava plavam mahat padam punya sho murare bhavam budhir vatsa padam param padam 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 is vipadam natesham. So it becomes like a vatsapad, water contained in the hoof print of a calf. And when we go back to Godhead, that water also evaporates. It's gone. It's not there. So therefore, the example of it's like a game. It's there and then it's gone, finished. You just wind up, remove the stumps, go home. Game over. It's like that. So does that make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. I just have a small follow-up question. So here it says playthings. So are we talking about toys, like non-living things, or because non-living things really don't have any minute independence or anything like that? If someone is playing with Lego, for example, and they just wind it up whenever they want, versus people who are in a baseball game, they have their free will and they can take action. So here it says playthings. But are we still referring to living people who are in a game, who have some control on their actions?
This refers to the material manifestations, Mataji. Our bodies are already dead. Our bodies are like Lego. How is our body different than Lego? Lego is made up of atoms and molecules. What is our body made up of? Organs. Organs are made up of tissues. Tissues are made up of cells. Cells are made up of lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates, which in turn are made up of nitrogen, carbon, oxygen. So what are we? We are a lump of atoms and molecules.
But the soul is there, right?
So this is not referring to soul. Krishna is not playing with the souls. When Krishna says this is like setting up a game and then destroying it, or it being like a dream, it is referring to the ever-changing material manifestations, where there is always 6 types of vikar going on. There is birth, there is growth, there is maintenance, there is byproducts, there is dwindling, and there is death. It refers to those 6 types of vikar that go on, the fluctuations in the manifestations of material energy. That's what it is talking about. It has nothing to do with the soul. If you come to the level of soul, then we are Satchidananda. We are with Krishna.
Yes.
So Krishna is not talking on the level of soul. He's talking about Legos. Our bodies are like Lego, dead bodies. Problem is we are identifying that I am this Lego, you are that Lego. I am brown Lego, you are white Lego. He's yellow Lego. That's what we are doing. Just identifying with this bag of atoms and molecules.
Thank you for clarifying, Prabhuji.
Kirtida Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Very beautiful answer of Shama Kishori Mataji's question. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have one question in text number 39, I think so. There was mention about Gandhari, that Prabhupada is saying that ascetic is never disturbed by all kinds of sufferings. And Queen Gandhari is a typical example of it. But isn't it that Gandhari also cursed Krishna at the end of the war and she was not able to tolerate? So how do we understand this?
Yeah, Prabhupada is talking about her tapaswini, her ascetic behavior now, that she has left everything and she has followed behind her husband. And then there were some aspects of her which were like tapaswini. For example, she was very, very beautiful. Mahabharata describes the beauty of Gandhari. She was the most qualified woman in the whole world at that time, Kunti and Gandhari. And she could have married any handsome prince, but when she came to know that her marriage has been decided, has been set with Dhritarashtra, who is born blind, she voluntarily accepted to go blind by tying silken robes around her, silken cloth around her eyes. Now that is some austerity. She could have said Yukta Vairagya. I will use my vision to help my husband. I will cook for him. But she was such a tapasvini. She made that sacrifice. So yes, she is not a perfect tapasvini because she is not Krishna conscious, she's not pure devotee. So she made mistakes. And Prabhupada writes in the purport earlier that she had the frailties of a human character. Remember? So Prabhupada says here specifically that tapasvini is used because she left the palace and like a chaste wife, she followed behind her husband. That's why. And in the future verses, further verses, it will come that how she voluntarily seeing Dhritarashtra, sensing that Dhritarashtra is burning in the fire, she entered like a sati. So in that sense, she was pativrata and she was tapasvini. That's what it refers to.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mukta Sangha Prabhu, last question.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. It's going to be a very simple one. Prabhu, some places Srila Prabhupada mentioned pure devotees. Some places in this verse 39, actually 38, he says most confidential devotee. What is the difference between confidential devotee and pure devotee? Why is it confidential?
So pure devotees are many. There can be anybody who is exclusively in love with Krishna, exclusively surrendered to Krishna. Anyone who is on the path of pure devotional service is a pure devotee. Pure devotee means ananya chintayanto mam, constantly thinking of only Krishna, nobody else. Mam ekam sharanam raja. That is a pure devotee. Confidential devotees generally refers to a Nitya Siddha. To a Nitya Siddha who associates with Krishna in his Leela and facilitates Krishna's Leela. So Krishna has a purpose in this world, which we don't know. But a confidential devotee knows that mission and comes to fulfill that mission for Krishna. Karishya vachanam tava. That is a confidential devotee. He knows what Krishna's mission is, what Krishna's plan is, and then comes and performs Leela. He is part of Krishna's Leela. That is called a confidential devotee. For example, Shripad Narad Muni. He is there in so many confidential pastimes. Now, Krishna's son is who? Pradyumna. Pradyumna is son of Rukmini and Krishna, correct? And that he's stolen by some demon and then thrown in the ocean and a fish swallows. And then one Rakshasi cook takes, and then in the cottage of that demon, cuts the fish, finds the child, and one lady takes, that lady is the incarnation of Rati, and Pradyumna is incarnation of Kamdev. They themselves don't know. And then that maid servant in the house who took that little baby child, Pradyumna, she starts getting attracted to that child, and she's wondering, why am I getting attracted? And that child also grows up, and he's thinking, why she's attracted to me? She's like my mother, she took care of me. Narad Muni comes there and says, previous life you were Rati and you were Kamdev, you were husband and wife. That's why it's natural. And actually, by the way, Pradyumna, you are the son of Krishna and Rukmini. So you better kill this demon and go back to the palace in Dwarka. So all this confidential servant. Nobody knew this rahasya, this mysterious but Narad Muni knows. So Narad Muni, when he's talking to Kansa, now listen carefully, this is very subtle. Narad Muni is talking to Kansa when Krishna has become 11 years old, just before sending Akrur to Vrindavan. So Narad Muni is talking to Kansa, and Narad Muni says that Vasudev has sent Krishna and Balram from Mathura to Vrindavan. Now Krishna was sent, that is Vasudeva Maharaj himself carried Krishna at night. Correct. That is a known fact. But what about Balramji? So there our acharyas write a commentary that Sanatan Goswami says, so is Narad Muni lying? Because Narad Muni told Kansa that Balram also was taken from Mathura to Vrindavan. He is also son of Vasudeva and Devaki. And his name is Sankarshan because Sankarshan hua tha. He was transferred from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Yogamaya had done, na? So Narad Muni tells that. Now this nobody knew, because Krishna had confidentially instructed Yogamaya that you transfer the pregnancy from the womb of Devaki into the womb of Rohini. But Narad Muni knew. And he's telling that to Kansa. So this is called confidential devotee. He knows the confidential things. Rahasya, Krishna Rahasya. Rahasya Leela. He knows. So the Acharyas raise a point. What was the need of telling Balramji's name? That Balramji also is the son of Vasudev and Devaki. Because Devaki's son was a threat to Kansa, not Rohini's son. Correct? And all this while Kansa was thinking that Balram is Rohini's son. But Narad Muni is telling, no. Balramji is the 7th child of Devaki. And Krishna is the 8th child of Devaki. Both are Devaki's children. Because Balram was transferred from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So what is the need of telling this? Because now Balramji also comes into trouble. Because he's the son of Devaki, not Rohini. So Kansa will attack him also. So the question is asked, why? So Srila Sanatana Goswami writes, in Bhakti Rasayan, Harisuri. Sri Harisuri ji raises this question, and he says that it was done by Shripad Narad Muni to protect his father. ऐसा बोल के छोड़ दिया Harisuri ji ने. He just writes that much, and now you understand, if you can understand. To protect his father, Narad Muni said like this. So what is the meaning? The Srila Radha Govind Maharaj, I was listening to the Katha this morning. It's the first class of the Akrur Milan Katha in Hindi. Srila Radha Govind Maharaj translates Harisuri ji, and he explains that the reason is Vidhi, Brahmaji, the father of Narad, had already written that Mushtik is going to be killed by Balram. Okay? Charnor will be killed by Krishna and Mushtik will be killed by Balram. So Narad Muni is thinking, if I don't put some blame on Balram, that he is also part of this, he also could be a threat to you because he is also a son of Devaki, not Rohini, then maybe Balram will not come. Kansa will only send for Krishna. Ki go and call Krishna for the Yajna, Dhanush Puja. And then Balram will not come. If Balram will not come, then Krishna will have to kill Mushtik also. But my father, Brahmaji, has already written in Prarabdha that this Mushtik is going to be killed by Balramji. So to facilitate, to make the words of his father come true, Narad Muni is telling that make sure you call that Balram also with Krishna to Mathura. Both of them have to come. So that whatever Lord Brahma has written, that will come true. So it's so subtle. So this is called confidential devotee, who knows all these inner confidential mysterious things. What is written in the diary of Brahmaji, what Krishna told Yogamaya, what Krishna's plan is, everything he knows. So this is called confidential devotee. These are Nitya Siddhas, and they do Sahayata, they help in the Leela of Krishna. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yeah, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you very much. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, all the other Sangha Upanga Parshadam, they are all confidential associates, right?
Yes, Haridas Thakur.
They also know one.
Rupa Goswami. Yes, very confidential. They are giving. Therefore, they know the heart of Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya, Mano Bhishtam Sthapita Mena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dasapadam. Yes, correct. Many pure devotees, but very few confidential devotees. Yes?
So all confidential devotees are Nitya Siddhas, Prabhuji, that means?
No, I am saying that generally when Prabhupada uses the word confidential devotee, it means somebody like Narad Muni, who knows the secrets, the mysteries of Krishna's appearance and activities, and helps in the Leela. So generally they are Nitya Siddhas, they come with Krishna, they are not conditioned souls. So yes, like that. That is understanding. So there is pure devotee, and then there are confidential devotees. They are special category of pure devotees who help in the Leela of Krishna. So they are generally Nitya Siddhas, yes. Okay.
Thank you.
But it's an English term, so we have to take it with a pinch of salt. But the actual Sanskrit definition would be Nitya Siddha, like you said. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
See you all day after tomorrow.
Everyone.
Thank
Jai
you,
Jai Shri
Prabhuji.
Radha
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.